Well, hello siblings, welcome back to the Art Therapy Guide to Coping Skills. I ask that you are safe, you are kind, and just do whatever's simple and easy. This video might be for you if you have a difficult time transitioning into using your coping skills. Because let's face it, sometimes I'm just not in the mood to create. I want to make something, I want to do something that makes me feel accomplished, but I get stuck in these cycles of just watching stuff or being distracted. Sometimes art begins by just picking up a pencil, picking up a mark-making device, and just noticing how unique and interesting that it is. It's really amazing that you can hold one in your hand and that it was crafted by so many different people, and just how many people were involved in making this and making this reality possible. And then what does this pencil tell you? Does this pencil tell you, you're too tired? If you color with me, I'll break your heart. You can't do anything original with me. Actually, there's nothing special about you at all. But this is just a pencil, and those aren't the pencil's thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Those are internal criticisms and judgments, and they come in to sort of trick you. They come in to balance you. And sometimes they can take over and just run rampant. So if that's where you're at right now, this video is for you. Choosing what to do is the most difficult part of my day. So many things I want to do, but I am being told to do so many other things. Now we get to look into this next section about reporting on what you've discovered. And so this is not like an eternal judgment or anything. It's just gathering information. You're being a scientist of your own first-person experience. Yeah, in my experience as an art therapist at an inpatient psychiatric hospital, the news that I would get and the stories that I would hear would vary quite a bit. Oftentimes it could be stories about just going home. The good news is that you get to go home. The good news could also be that you have a home to go to. I know that can be a big struggle for a lot of people. I have a lot of fences to mend that I am close to. The bad news could be very simple, like that you have to leave the new friends that you made in the hospital. The bad news could just be really insightful, acknowledging the work that you have to do, knowing that it's going to be a long and difficult day and that you'll have to overcome many challenges. And that could be either in like a work sense, but also like in a relationship sense, in a friendship sense, that sometimes you notice that, hey, I should apologize for that, or hey, I should make sure we're on the same page. You know, coming from a person who's in the hospital, their mental illness may have caused them to act in ways that feel regrettable now. So I just wanted to remind you, don't give up. Keep taking care of yourself. Keep expressing yourself. If your bad news needs attention from others and needs help, that's okay. Please reach out to your safety net. But I would warn against blaming others. If there is bad news involved, try and figure out a way where you can have some accountability and some way to move forward. If that means redefining the relationship or ending or terminating that relationship, that's on the table too. Someone had mentioned that there are a lot of fences to mend in their personal relationships. And it's good to acknowledge that, okay, there we go, my fence, it's broken, it needs to be mended, I need to make it right with a few people. And it's another thing to have the skills in order to achieve that. Because putting yourself in that vulnerable position is just the first step. You're going to have to tolerate big emotions that come up. You're going to have to tolerate emotions that aren't the best kinds. Those are just teaching you. It's an opportunity to learn. And that starts right here by using art as a coping skill, you're gaining tools. You're gaining the hammer that you need. You're gaining the nails that you need. You're gaining the fence posts that you need in order to repair that fence, making that achievable. So I'm just here to reassure you that it is achievable. I've seen so many people come back from the brink of poor behavior and poor decisions and mental illness. But mental illness isn't all bad decisions and poor behavior. I'm thinking specifically about people that are suffering from like mania or psychosis or something. Depression could be equally as terrible, and that causes you to harm yourself. And that's always a big challenge. We don't want that. So anyway, what's the takeaway here? I feel very ashamed with the heartache and mistrust that I've caused. It's something that someone had written here once before. Having the courage to deal with these difficult emotions and take responsibility for your actions it just takes so much bravery. It's amazing. Let's create a new story of hope. The past doesn't have to do with your childhood. The past could be just this morning. Every moment is part of your life. It's part of a day. And those are opportunities to notice the quality of your emotions. The past could bring up all sorts of challenges, difficulties you face, and even those negative thoughts, embarrassments, and shame. I drank myself into alcohol poisoning. I lied to some of my closest friends. That's what someone once wrote in that section. The past could bring up all sorts of difficult feelings. If those difficult memories come up for you, it's good to acknowledge them. Acknowledge the feeling that you have, and maybe it can inspire you. You know, the past can be your teacher in some way to know what you have to do next. And if there is nothing you can do about it, let it go. So that brings us to the present moment. The present moment is happening right now. Yeah, it's hard to even get a grasp of what that means. But in mindfulness, you learn that it is pointing at something. That something is that state of flow. It's that loss of sense of self. It is an enmeshment into this present moment. In this present moment, if you're using art as a coping skill, then you're willing to learn, you're willing to change, you're willing to grow. Not everyone can say that. Being a seeker in this way is something that can dramatically impact your life. In the present moment, I am alive and I want to change. The future to me is always like a path forward. It's finding a way out of the forest. It's out of the way, finding what's next. Maybe that's where hope comes in for you. Feeling a strong sense of hope. Hope for the future, hope for what you can accomplish, hope that you will continue to get your needs met. And I think maybe you should even help others if you can. Maybe you have strong hopes to make amends to the art materials that have been collecting dust around. Maybe you can become friends with the different art materials and the different creative moments that you have in your life. Maybe that's just playing with your kids. Maybe that's just being a kid. So the future may be sharing something. The future may be helping others. But maybe that's something that you can have some choice in. What are the areas you do have choice? And by the way, the future happens. It just happens. There's no stopping it. There's no slowing it down. But with these moments of mindfulness and art making, you're starting to create a record of these fleeting emotions, these fleeting moments. You know, the parts that really make life. The parts that are the bulk of what you do being alive. Most of our lives are not peak experiences. They're not those photos that you take and never look at again. It's these in-between moments, these moments that you're just going through the rigmarole on automatic pilot. So what if you're able to slow down and reclaim that once again? Reclaim your own mind, reclaim your own space to create and be creative, to express what it's like to be truly human. That's your right. That's what you deserve. Let's build a healthy community where we can appreciate each other's uniqueness and expressions. Well, anyway, that might be my idealist's silliness here, but you asked for it. I hope that your future is bright. I hope you get to discover more about the world and it fills you with a sense of wonder. And if maybe using art as a coping skill, that could be a great tool to be able to measure that. So until next time, don't be afraid to use art as a coping skill. Don't be shy about doodling or writing down or creating. Let's share it together and let's have a great day.